It all began in a small village where a little girl named Amora lived happily with her mother. But one day, her grandmother insisted on taking her away. She claimed she could raise Amora better, and so the girl grew up in her grandmother's care. Years later, Amora's aunt, Grace, got married. Not long after, Grace returned to the village and asked the grandmother to let Amora come live with her in the city. She promised to give the girl a better life, but deep down, she only wanted Amora to help with her new baby. At first, Amora thought her life was about to change for the better. But soon she realized the truth. Every morning, before she could think of school, she had to sweep, wash clothes, fetch water, and cook food. Only after finishing all the house chores was she allowed to leave for school, always late and always tired. Even then, Grace would not give her food. Instead, she placed a crumpled 20 naira note in the girl's hand. That was all Amora had to eat for the day. But what could 20 naira buy in this economy? Almost nothing. So, she often went to school with an empty stomach, hungry and weak, but still pushing herself to learn. After some time, Amora fell sick. Her skin broke out with a painful infection. Instead of treating her, Grace dragged her to the hospital for an HIV test. When the results came back, Grace went alone to collect them and said nothing to the child. Days later, curiosity and fear pushed Amora to sneak into her aunt's room. She found the folded paper on the table. With trembling hands, she opened it, and there it was. Negative. She did not have HIV. Tears filled her eyes. In that moment, she made a decision deep in her heart: if I travel home for Christmas, I will never return to this house again. Finally, Christmas came. Everyone was joyful. Music filled the air. Families were making new hair and preparing for the celebration. Grace made rubber thread hair for Amora, and together they all traveled back to the village. The moment she stepped into her grandmother's arms, Amora felt safe again. For the first time in a long while, she smiled freely. And when the festive season ended, bags were packed for the return trip to the city. But this time, the grandmother quietly hid Amora. When Grace called and searched for her, the grandmother stood firm. "This child has suffered enough," she said. "She is not going back with you." Amora stayed hidden, her small heart pounding with hope and relief. She didn't say a word, but inside she knew her days of silent suffering were finally over.